Hey everybody, and welcome back to Star Cub Review. I'm your host as always, Star Cub. Yep, that's me. Today I'm gonna do a PS5 review for a open world RPG that released on September 10, 2019. I know I'm late with this one, but I've had this on my radar for a very long time. I bought it. I bought the collector's edition gold edition for the PS5, brand new by the way, for a whopping $10, and I was impressed, so I had to buy it, and that is Greedfall, developed by Spiders, and the publisher is Focus Home Interactive. Now, I started this year, so far in January. I started on the 7th and finished on the 16th. So 9 days overall it took me to complete this game, but I was completely blown away by it. Absolutely amazing open world RPG. I know there's a lot of people have different opinions about it and all that kind of stuff, and I have seen videos, which is kind of really funny. And speaking of videos, I don't have any footage or any videos to show this time around, so I'm just going to be doing a normal review, just talking about it. That's pretty much it, how I usually do my reviews. Sometimes I'll add video in if I can get footage, if I filmed it or whatnot. I didn't film any gameplay footage, so unfortunately I don't have any gameplay footage, but it's been out for a long time now, so everyone should know exactly how it plays. But yes, Greedfall, I bought it, and finally, I bought it last year, and I finally got around to playing it, and man, it did not disappoint. But before I get into it, just want to say a big welcome to everyone new to my channel. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos, subscribing as well. That's great. To everyone returning, and then to everyone returning that keeps watching my videos, thank you guys. Namaste. I really appreciate every single one of you. I really do. Even the comments that I get from people, it is really good to see, especially regulars that comment on my videos. It's really good to see that someone's in, at least people are enjoying them. Even though I don't get lots and lots of, hundreds and thousands of views, I'm happy that it is out there, and yeah, I can just share it with everyone. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, Greedfall for the PS5. The story, it's an open world action RPG where you assume the role of Desade, and he's a neutral human that has recently moved to this mysterious, beautiful, indigenous island. Like, it is incredible. And with all the inhabitants there, the natives, all these different sort of settlers that have moved to the island as well. It's a branching story of trying to get tribes to form alliances, and other settlers to form alliances with this alliance, and they may not approve of this particular big sprawling city that is very devout in God per se type of thing, and hates magic and hates witchcraft and all this magic, and they have to destroy it. It's an interweaving story, but it's an interweaving supernatural story where Desade has come to this island to investigate, to help form alliances, but also what plagues him is the fact that he needs to find a cure to a mysterious illness that basically plagues the settlers, and it's a very dark one, and he needs to find the cure, but at the same time gets embroiled in this big supernatural story, and it just sprawls from there. And that's the gist of it, while forming alliances, having to find a cure for his cousin, but not only for his cousin who comes into the story, but for other people that are being plagued by this illness that pretty much is eradicating people at an alarming rate. So that's the gist of the story. Now, the gameplay for this, as you can see, I've got my review notes here. And the gameplay is along with the settlers, mercenaries, treasure hunters. You can explore a remote island. You've got stealth. You can do stealth. You can do full-on free-form, real-world combat, which is absolutely amazing. You've also got magic. You can do big-handed weapons, short-handed weapons, long-range, guns, swords, rapiers, you name it. You've got that fighting off not only settlers and thugs and thieves. You've also got supernatural creatures that come into it and around that are all over the island. You've got like a lot of the stealth mechanics is sneaking into forts and stuff, or sneaking around certain areas to get in without being seen. The stealth mechanic is really, really good. But also another big game aspect is all the natives on this island are protected by supernatural beings, and they're per se they're the almighty one that they worship type of thing. So they are bosses in a sense, and you'll meet them throughout the story. Forming alliances as well is a big one, but also another big mechanic is when you form alliances, every single choice that you make in this game, regardless of whether it's something it's intentional, you would do intentionally, whether it be good, evil, neutral, or for yourself, it affects the story and the dialogue as well, and the options that you pick. You can also coerce somebody. You can do all different sorts of stuff, like persuade them, outright kill them, try different sort of things to get them to go to your side, or see reason, which gives you different sort of outcomes, and it affects the story at the end. So everything that you do affects the ending that you get, because there's multiple endings as well. It's an interconnected world. The island is huge, so everywhere you go you can fast travel. It's an interconnected world here, up to a mountain range, a volcano, down into caves. It's all interconnected. It's absolutely amazing. Real world combat, freestyle. You got diplomacy as well, so you've got to help certain people and you get experience for it, money, help certain settlers and that, and you become an alliance with this crew and that crew. So like the shipping, there's all different levels of alliances. So like one would be the guild coin alliance, and another one is the tribe alliances. You've got thug alliances. You've got all different sorts of alliances that you can align yourself with, and it actually, in the game menus and that, you can actually see whether or not they're hostile, friendly, intermediate, they're friendly, all that sort of stuff. So it works in with that because it goes with your certain stats. So all your stats you can level up, like charisma, agility, and all of that. But it adds into the story as well, where in certain places you'll need charisma to be able to coerce this, to be able to, bypass certain things. So it makes it easier. And if you don't have the level of skill like a +3 in charisma or whatnot, or don't have 3 charisma, it won't work. So you have to try different avenues. It's insane. The mechanics in this is insane. You can form relationships as well, which really at the end of the day doesn't really influence the story, but I kind of wish this one would have had a bit more freedom with its relationships, especially with its character creation screen at the start, before you make your decided character, whether it male or female. I really wish it had have been much more in-depth character creation, and with the relationships, you're very limited in the LGBTQ range, where it favors it favors normal, straight relationships rather than LGBTQ. And even though they included that, I still kind of wish they had have included more with the romance and made it more accessible, like the Assassin's Creed ones, where the Assassin's Creed games had LGBTQ relationships, but still at the same time they really needed to work that one out as well, because it really didn't satisfy a lot of fans and it didn't really satisfy me. The one I probably liked the most is probably Assassin's Creed Valhalla's relationships. But also I did like Odyssey's, but Valhalla's was a bit more involved over Odyssey's. But I kind of wish the LGBTQ themes could have been there, but that doesn't really deter from it. You can customize Desade with all these weapons, magic rings, etc. Fashion souls as well. I call it fashion souls. So you can do all these different sort of armors and hats and boots and jackets and stuff. It's really trendy. And that's just to name a few with the gameplay, but it's massive, on a massive scale. Graphics. Greedfall is a beautiful game. The characters, creatures, the fauna and flora are absolutely amazing. Beautifully detailed, as same with the historic buildings that are littered around in the settling areas of Greedfall. The architecture there is amazing, extremely detailed, especially the seaport areas, the big cathedrals and castles and that are absolutely detailed. The characters are detailed as well. Tribes, settlers, and everything like that are really, really detailed, but textures, glitches can appear at times, and it makes NPCs look really goofy and funny, the way that they speak and the textures in their face. It doesn't sync up and can make them look funny in some scenes. The glitches can be anything where they're halfway in the ground or they're up here. Sometimes their coat or whatnot is flapping and then it stops, and then it's like, it just looks like there's nothing there behind them. It is funny. It is really, really funny to see. Backgrounds can take a few seconds to a few minutes to load in, which doesn't deter from the story or the gameplay or anything like that, but sometimes it just takes a little bit for the background to come into focus, so that can you can see that. I haven't had very many glitches and stuff like that that I've come across. The backgrounds, yes, I've come across quite a bit of that, but once again, it doesn't happen too often. And I've had a couple of glitches with the faces and the characters not syncing up with the voice actor or actress at times, which can come off goofy and funny. And overall, the graphics are absolutely amazing. The world is extremely detailed. Like I said, it is absolutely amazing. The trees and that blow. You've got rain, you've got thunder, you've got sunny days, you've got cold days. It is absolutely amazing to see that the graphics on this game are really, really good, minus the few glitches and stuff like that along the way. Other than that, it's not too bad. Verdict. Greedfall pulled me in from start to finish. The story, the characters kept me entertained for hours. There's heaps of side quests, hidden areas, weapons, armor, and that's just to rattle off a few. The amount of side quests in this game is amazing to see, and I haven't even scratched the surface of the side quests. It's a game that will keep you immersed for hours, and I'm talking hours. Some of the main quests take ages to do, and that is amazing to see. Even the side quests, even doing side quests is very well worth it to get hidden items, more money, points that you can add to level up your character, whether it be weapons, armor, magic spells, agility, charisma, all of that. You need that in order to level up, to get your character stronger, which adds to their stats. So they encourage you to do side quests, and the side quests are very worth it. Sometimes the side quest stories are more involved than some of the main portions of the story, because the side ones can be very, very involved and are very, very satisfying to complete and go through. It's very, very engaging. I sunk 40 plus hours into Greedfall, and from start to finish, even doing a bit of side quests, getting some secret items and that, armor and that, I completed it 40 hours plus. So I would say I'm close to nearly 50 hours. When I finished, I was close to 50 hours. And that's just from start to finish doing it. But the main story takes around about 30 to 40 hours, I think. 30 to 40 hours, that's the range. Some people, you can't get it done in a few hours. There's no bloody way. There's so much more, there's so much involved from when you first start to when you get to the end. There's a lot. And some of it you have to do side quests in order to get back onto the main quest line to finish this one, to go to the next part of the story. So it definitely doesn't take 3 hours to complete this, or 4 or 5 or even 10 hours. It's a very involving open world RPG. Like I said, even the side content and DLC adds a lot more. So your average 30 to 40 hour to finish it. I would expect with all the side content and DLC added in, you'd at least get 60 to 80 hours. That's if you're a perfectionist. Definitely, there's so much content in this. Even leveling up, you have to do side quests and main quests and go off the beaten path to level up. So there's a lot involved to get you to, level 100. So there's a lot involved there. 60 to 80 hours tops, maybe even 100. That's just a ballpark figure. Fantastic game. I loved it. And there's even multiple endings, like I said. And I only got one ending, but there's so much you can do in this game that affects what ending you get. So it's very impressive. And my rating for it, 8.5 out of 10. Absolutely loved Greedfall from start to finish. Absolutely fantastic. The publisher and developers have done an amazing job with Greedfall. The reason behind why I gave it 8.5 is with its glitches and texture. Sometimes the textures can be quite off. Graphical imperfections. Backgrounds sometimes having trouble loading in and taking a few seconds to a few minutes to load in. Doesn't deter, but it does. You can notice it, especially when you're out in the open and you're expecting to see a background, expecting to see something and it looks kind of funny, and then when you get closer to it, it loads in, and then it makes the whole area look so much better. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, that should be there. So it doesn't deter. It really didn't hinder my experience, but Greedfall would have got a higher score had those things not happen so often. Voice syncing too can be off, and some of the character models some of them look, the NPCs especially some of them look very thuggish and just downright horrible. But I suppose that's part of the charm of this game. being that it's, you know, ancient times and the island just looks magnificently beautiful and ancient, and you would expect some natives to look really thuggish and brutish and really ugly. So you can't complain really, but I think what would have made my experience, it would have made it 10 out of 10 is the battle system, the freedom, the open worldness at times can feel a little empty. Not all the time, but it can feel a little bit empty. But also the freestyle combat is absolutely amazing, but I think it could have been improved because it does feel clunky at times. But that's just me. It does feel clunky at times, and some of the NPC, like your party members or allies that help you fight, sometimes they can be a little bit slow and dumb, and not as effective as what you are. So I think with a few updates and changing a few things up and making that better and cleaning the battle system up a bit, I think it would be a 10 out of 10. But I loved Greedfall all the same. And with that concludes this one. This one is a little bit longer, just over 20 minutes. What can I say? Greedfall was an amazing game, and there was a lot to really talk about in this one. There's so much more involved with Greedfall, but I don't want to go even more further into it because otherwise it'll go on forever. But other than that, I'll leave you there, folks, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all with the next one. Okay, bye.